Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my live react to the Mr. Metokur documentary by June the King. In the first part, we learned a lot about the history of where he came from, Mr. Metokur, that is, like where he came from on the internet as a kind of a troll on various different forums and social media things. His early YouTube channel, Internet Aristocrat, which I swear I saw videos from back in the day because it rings a bell. And he even covered, the Gamergate stuff, although I just don't know much about that topic. I wasn't involved with Gamergate. I have a cursory understanding of it. But now I guess we're going to get into the meat of it. How Metokur actually got known on the internet, right? So let's see. Let's find out and get into this portion of the documentary. Here we are.
He would handpick specific pieces of fetish material found on DeviantArt or read conversations attached to the works as straight as he could. Within these, as with other series, Metokur would sarcastically adopt the mindset of the creators or just those involved to portray the strangeness of their thought process. One of the better examples of this is when he covered sovereign citizens, or people that thought they could use semantics to work their way out of a speeding ticket.
This is my homemade plate, which I have made.
My homemade plate. What?
Now these three simple rules. Am I being detained? I am not driving a vehicle. I am a traveler. Are usually enough to get you out of any situation.
This was Metokur's form of storytelling, one where the audience was in on the joke, always making sure not to be antagonistic towards his viewers. That's not to say that Metokur was still not getting a fair amount of pushback.
The baby furs got extraordinarily upset with the videos that I was doing and threatened to have me killed, have me arrested, have me sued, have my account shut down, to banish me from social media.
What's he saying? The baby furs? The what? Is he saying furries? Is that what he's calling them? Huh.
Exact same reaction. And that's what's funniest to me. This is 7 years later and they still react exactly the same. They still get upset and try to destroy you for laughing at silly artwork on DeviantArt.
Metokur, his humor, his selection of topics, and his nature of being a troll is what both brought ire and respect.
Oh, I wanted to read it. Said, who do you think is the worst YouTuber? I never considered Mr. Metokur to be a good YouTuber at all, mainly because I don't see the appeal in trash-talking people on sites like DeviantArt and Tumblr. There's some pretty awful or insane fandoms out there that need a good talking. But the problem is, I just don't see the humor. I'm basically making fun of one part of fandom because of a few members being weird. He is sad and pathetic. The difference is that people like Mr. Metokur don't see... Yeah, the people he's making fun of don't seem that bad. Okay. All right.
His selection of topics and his nature of being a troll is what both brought ire and respect. Efforts to go after Metokur were often foiled because he is mostly anonymous and unserious in the topics that he covers. Sometimes he adopts a more serious stance, like with the infamous dentist, Howard S. Schneider.
Was that one dentist video I did, where the dude was strapping kids down and then trying to save money and bill insurance by not using Novocaine? So he'd do dental work on 5-year-olds without Novocaine and rip stuff out and cut their gums up. That was pretty fucking horrific.
Yeah, I remember that video. That angered me because I had a dentist similar to that strapped me down when I was a kid.
And Metokur's dentist...
So there was a real dentist who was trying to save money and wouldn't use Novocaine, so would just strap the kid down and then cut them up. It would be extreme pain. What? Isn't that like... Seriously, isn't that like over the top torturous shit? Right? Like, couldn't he have gone to jail for that? Maybe he did. It said he was no longer going to practice. Huh.
This video, he is quite angry, playing the screams of children as they undergo a hellish operation by an evil man.
Howard S. Schneider. What a fucking joke.
When Metokur is pushed, he creates novel videos, none more famous than the Bathtub Ross saga.
Ross, you're retarded.
Ladies.
Brandon, talk, bitch.
Dude, is this fucking Metokur? Are you actually in the call?
Oh, so I was listening to the live stream and I was just kind of curious about the bathtub stuff.
No, it's
Ross, you wanna?
Why am I in there? That's me. That's me in my Ghostbusters outfit from the original time when I wore it, which was 2015. Yeah, I want to say this was like 2015 when I wore that as my Halloween costume, or maybe 2016. It was either 2015 or 2016. Why the hell am I in this thumbnail? What do I have to do with this? Again, I have no idea who this guy is, or, you know, somehow I got pulled into it. What? Like, I'm just, I don't get it. Okay, then.
You want to back that story up a little bit to the bathtub?
There's
Hey, before I say anything, it's an honor to have you as a guest on here anyways.
It was
I
an
don't
honor.
really care.
Yeah, it's an honor to have him as well.
Okay,
For me.
that's great. Can you tell me about the little kids in the bathtub, Ross? That's all I want.
Oh yeah, is pretty much the reason why is because, you know, I looked it up and I thought they were cute videos. That's really it.
See, I thought the naked kids in the bathtub were cute.
By the way, Metokur, there's an upcoming
yeah,
pedo
but
video.
It was not for like fucking jerking off purposes or some shit.
Oh, someone call me a whore in the chat? Well, fuck you. You could go.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen a lot. Okay, so what made
Oh, that's gonna happen a lot. Okay, anyway, moving on. Wow. This just sounds like it's such a chaotic whirlwind. So what was happening? Like, I don't even understand the premise. Someone was streaming. Somehow there was a video with kids, like underage kids splashing in a bathtub. So Metokur calls into the show. I don't know how he calls into the show, but he gets on the show and he says to the guy, "What's up with that?" And the guy says, "Oh, well, I just want to know it's an honor to have you on the show." He's like, "Yeah, that's great you're saying that. But by the way, what about the kids in the bathtub?" And he says, "I just thought it was cute." I don't even understand. Is there a whole fringe culture of people who sit around on Discord and do weird fucking videos and shows like this? Is that what it is? Because all the time when we were watching the stuff about like the Wings of Redemption stuff, it's like, Wings is jumping on his Trolls Discord. He's going into the Lion's Den. It's like, what? I guess I've completely 100% avoided any of this. And that's why I just don't understand it. Like, not once in my life would I think, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to jump on a fucking Discord with a bunch of weirdo people doing weird shit, and we're going to record it, and this is going to be content for the internet. Like, not once would I ever think that. For me, content is like, so I set up, I'm going to play a video game today for an audience, and we're going to talk, and we're going to chat, and I'm going to fail, you're going to laugh at my fails, but we'll have some good times too. Like, that's content. I don't even understand what this is. Right? Like, what is, this is like, we have nothing to do, we have nothing to offer. Bottom of the barrel scraping, like turds, right? Like scraping turds, and then presenting it to the internet as something to consume. Like, I would never present something like this. Like, what? I just don't even get it. You know, I'm lost. Because again, I'm so disconnected from this culture, this weird troll culture that's on the internet. But I guess this has been omnipresent forever. Like, it's just there, underlying. It's like the 10th level under the things that are on top publicly. There's like this subculture upon subculture of weird shit going on. It's just fucking bizarre. Right? What the hell?
I told you to look at you like you thought that was cute. Why were you looking up naked kids in bathtubs in the first place, Roz?
Because I wanted to fucking find. I thought, like, why not?
In late 2017,
What?
Metokur was browsing through small streams and
So he literally didn't, he has no justification for it at all. Oh my God.
clicked on this one. Only a handful of people were watching, and none of the people on the call were of note. But the moment Metokur started listening was a moment Ross was being confronted by others about watching videos of children in bathtubs. It was then that Metokur requested to get on the stream through Google Hangouts and was let in. The twists and turns of these unfolding events would span several videos as the revelations kept getting wilder and more captivating.
What?
I'm on the internet.
Well, I
I
don't-
1000K subscribers. I'm Mr. Metokur. I'm a cool guy.
Oh, now you're
I'm
gonna
not the guy
roast Mr.
streaming
Metokur?
talking about naked kids in a bathtub.
Iron Chef Sakai, could you please actually moderate over on Kick for a change? There's people in there outright saying stuff that you should be moderating and you're not doing it. So, you know, please moderate. If you're not going to moderate, we don't need to have you as a mod over there. Because you're just sitting there. There's people right next to you doing it and you're not doing anything. Proto Man, thanks for a $2 super chat. He says, these were your trolls. Yeah, apparently that's what it seems like. It seems like Metokur jumped on a random stream of my trolls? Is this how all this started? With him getting embroiled in all of this shit? Is that what it is? That's what it seems like, right?
Ross, that's
Well,
your
except
dumbass.
I
So
know-
why don't you answer the question rather than being a little bitch? and
Ross,
just be
you don't want to go
straightforward?
against Mr. Metokur, man.
You're an annoying piece of shit who thinks he's so because he's cool on the internet.
But stutter some more, you dumb bitch. I see you in the chat trying to be funny like you know fucking memes and shit. You're so out of touch. You call yourself Edge Queen. There's nothing edgy about you, you fucking hole.
You don't
know
fucking
her.
know
You
me.
don't know. Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
asshole.
You really
I don't need to know her. She's annoying and unfunny. Well, sadly, things did not stay very civil for long.
Despite increasing tensions, things did get back on track.
I said, how does wanting kids relate to you going on the internet and looking at naked children? How do they connect it exactly? How does that play into each other?
And you want to know why I said it was fun?
Sure.
Because honestly, like, you know, like the thing is that like they're playing and shit, and they're pretty much chilling, and that's pretty much what it is, really.
Thrown into the mix now were screenshots of Ross admitting he has a problem.
You not only like bought the rope and tied the noose, but like put your neck in it.
Wow.
Like you're admitted that you're looking at naked kids on the internet, and then there are these conversations where you're saying you have feelings for kids, and you need to get
Wow.
help. So, like, let's just cut through the shit and get to brass tacks. Are you a pedophile? I'm not saying you acted on it, but are you?
No, not really, and I didn't even act on anything, really.
Hey, Metokur, have you seen the video where he cries
And
on
then
live
sex
stream?
shaking your head.
Of course he has.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've seen all the videos. This guy is a fucking... He's out of his fucking gourd. Is he lying? I don't know. He's looking up naked pictures of the kids on the internet. He hears voices. He fights with his grandma. He breaks shit. He doxes people. He sends death threats to people. And then there are people on this call trying to defend that shit and act like it's normal. You fucking lying. You know that.
So is this really a group of my detractors? I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about this shit. So these are the people who were fucking detracting on me. Seriously. And this was what, 2015, 2016? It had to have been around that time because that's when I wore the Ghostbusters outfit. Okay? So, and by the way, Proto Man did another super chat. They thought Metokur was going to help them troll you. So that's why they let him on the show. I mean, if he had me in his profile picture, right, doing stuff like that, then obviously that's probably exactly right. They probably thought, oh, look, here's the guy who hates DSP. Let's let him on the call. And then they get him on the call, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's got them dead to rights with all this shit. And they're like, whoa. Oh, I don't know. I have absolutely, again, I have no clue why I would be on the avatar there. Like 2015, 2016, that was before mobile game nonsense. That was before where you could even argue where people would say that I was a constant e-beggar. I'm honestly not sure. Right? I'm honestly not sure at all why he used me as his profile pic like that. I have no clue. I'm sure it's some meme that he made up that people loved because it seems like people worship this guy as a troll, right? See, I would essentially, if I had a conversation with this man, that's exactly the kind of stuff I would talk to him about. I'd be like, so what was it that fascinated you or about me that you had me on your avatar like this? What was it that made you research these people to jump on their podcast and destroy them like this? And apparently they were welcoming you with open arms, thinking that you were going to be on there probably making fun of me, and instead you turned it against them. Like, does anyone know who these people actually are? Who are the other people on the call? Are they trolls of mine? This is just like, right? It's so confusing. But at the same time, I feel like I should know about it, but I don't. Because again, I was so disconnected from the trolling. You guys don't understand. You really don't. Because people say it to me all the time, right? They say things like, so Phil, how does it feel when all these people are saying nasty things about you every day and this and that? I'm like, I literally know nothing about it. I don't watch my detractors' content. I don't know who they are at all. It was funny. Someone like a month or two ago had said they were interacting with one of my detractors and somehow inspired them to make like an insanely long rant video about me. And then they told me about it. I was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Like, I literally don't. I don't know. I've never heard of them before. And then they thought it was great comedy that this person went on a 7-hour video or whatever about me, and I'd never heard of them before. But that's like, that's literally every single moment, right, of my existence on the internet. There's these people, these weird fringe groups sitting on a fucking oddball Discord, weirdos, talking about weird shit, acting out weird shit. And then they're like, oh, but let's come together to hate on DSP, you know? And I know nothing of it at all, you know? Super Bonchon says, Metokur simply would call out people who needed to be called out. You, your detractors, anyone. There you go. It's so weird to me. So this is complete chance that he happened upon one of my detractor streams. I get the feeling like if he already was messing with me or saying bad things about me, and again, I'm ignoring it. I don't even know who this guy is. I get the feeling that he already had wind of these different groups, right? Other people who were doing it. And then boom, felt like, oh, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to now interject myself into this situation. Here's a good target for me or something, right? Seems like that. So, okay.
That's not normal. Don't pretend.
Dude, I'm
triggers are-
welcoming you into this stream out of my own hospitality, dude.
How many times do I have to shit in your living room before you throw me off, Ross?
Brandon, I'm not Brandon. Ross, throw him out.
Alright,
Throw me
fine,
out, boss.
Metokur, you had your chance.
With Metokur kicked out of the call, the gears were now in motion. After Metokur did an additional call with Ross and the woman in the call that went as Ruby, he began making a video, and a little did he know, videos were also being made on him.
Oh well, I guess that's the end of it. Not really anywhere else we can go with it. I mean, his friends were being evasive, he was being evasive. I'll have to chalk it up to one of those weird internet interactions. Or at least, that is where it would have ended. If not for the fact that 10 hours later, I was put on fucking notice when this video went live on YouTube.
Metokur, I suggest you back out before I contact YouTube and let them know that you're witch hunting a user, and that will permanently have you banned. That, your content, I mean, the fact that your intro is cringy as shit. So if you want to keep defending them and call Ross a pedo and witch hunt him, I'll gladly have your channel banned. Because, I mean, witch hunting is, it gets to...
Who are these people? So now they think they can just have a channel banned on YouTube. Oh, you used to talk shit about my friend, so now I'm going to get you banned. How? What are you talking about? This is so bizarre. Again, this whole community of people online, I don't get it. It blows my mind. It gives me a headache to think that they exist. It just... Wow.
OS, and that's all they can do.
That's right. Death himself, Nuclear Gamer, is putting me on notice. No more Salem of the internet for you, Jim. You can't hunt these witches anymore. And in case his message was not crystal clear, he put up another video to explain it further.
Well, Metokur is going to get some serious legal troubles happening his way.
Well, oh shit. I fucked with the wrong hombre. What was I thinking taking on the leader of a Call of Duty clan? I'm talking about the world-famous Deadly Strikers Elite Force. It has its own website, if you want to pay to visit. It has an amazing website. And Nuclear Gamer, their leader, was sure to tell everybody in the comment section that they were going to get arrested, hacked, doxxed, or even potentially get their asses kicked. Life ruination engaged. It was around this time that I decided to respond directly to Nuclear Gamer, king of the Call of Duty clan. You really fucked up now, buddy. So you got one choice. You can show the evidence, or I can get Interpol involved. I guess he didn't appreciate the sentiment, because not only did he lock the comment section and disable the ratings, he pulled down all the videos too. Even a third video, which I didn't have a chance to archive or download, but was basically the same as the first two, expanding.
The police report filed. Leave me alone or I'll press charges. And the videos are getting like 500 views. Like, no one's watching it. So it's not like anyone cares or it's not getting any attention. Like, what the hell?
On it, letting me know that I'm going to internet jail.
There was an additional stream between Nuclear Gamer and Ross where the two doubled down on their aggression, threatening to get the police involved, though to what extent was unclear.
I am a fucking target. Bandito and his band of elite super hackers are going to take my internet away forever. I'm going to get doxxed, hacked, arrested, and possibly killed because I fucked with the wrong individuals.
You better watch out, though. They might actually contact an employee at your ISP and have them go inside your modem and name your wireless networking nasty names about you and your family members. And then when you're live on stream, they may reset your router. That's the real nasty stuff. Sadly, that actually happened to me. But anyway.
Metokur, within the first Ross video, or rather Bathtub Ross as he was being deemed, summarized all these happenings, and displayed some other of Ross's infamous moments, like when his grandma was telling him to take a shower.
Take your shower. Clean up. You stink. Not clean underwear. Put on some clean clothes once in a while.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ.
This happened. Wait, this happened live on a stream? And this guy is such a dunce, he didn't mute his mic? Are you fucking kidding me? What is going on? Yo, this is like review tech. And a family member coming in yelling at him about his kids. Like, why are people so dumb? And on top of that, it's disgusting. Can you imagine not washing yourself so badly? You know, so often you wash yourself. You stink so bad, your family members are yelling at you for it. What the fuck is wrong with these fucking people?
I'd like you to wash your hair and put some soap under your armpits.
Oh my god, she's destroying it.
Do until then.
People around you will thank you.
Wow.
There was also the time Ross admitted to defecating himself.
Then you can come down here and have a real life and not live with your grandparents and have to be a fucking baby that shits his pants and gets fucking fed and shit and just plays games for the rest of his life. Maybe then, if you can do that.
I stopped shitting my pants since I was like 11.
It's not actually. It's fucking figure of speech, you dipshit.
With Bathtub Ross gaining notoriety, he was starting to get more aggressive.
You're probably noticing the timeline on this video is nowhere near done yet. That's because this TISM storm is just heating up. What follows are multiple days worth of interactions, where he and his group of friends begin to show more and more just how insane they are.
Metokur goes.
See, here's the thing. Like for me, and I think this is where, okay. This is where I very much differ from many of you and from other people who, you know, I have interaction with, like notably Kino Casino, okay? Those guys, just like Metokur, a story like this would happen, right? And so they latch onto it, they get their lulls, you know, okay. For me, I get to a point and I'm like, okay, great, all that happening. And I laugh. I thought, like, initially, I think this was a funny story. I do. I believe it was a funny story. And you're like, all right, they're a bunch of losers. We move on, right? But when it comes to, like, again, people who, like, focus on drama, this is, like, a giant bag of feed. And now they could just keep going back to it, right? So he's like, do you see? We're not even halfway through the story. Like, wait, you're not. But we know the story. They're a bunch of weirdos. They're a bunch of fringe, you know, deviants. The guy doesn't even wash his body and his grandmother yells at him. We don't need to talk about them anymore. We can write them off now. You know what I'm saying? We can say it's over. It's done, you know. But for like these people who focus on drama, this is like, now we're going in. Like, dude, and that for me, like, I mean, that's, I think, my difference between me and a lot of you. Like, you guys like that shit, right? Like, you could focus on that and be like, you know, I love it. Let's keep going. Let's keep destroying this person. Let's keep finding more bad things about them. You know, like I think that's Kino Casino's thing. Like they focus in on these people and they keep finding out more and then they cover them further. Can you believe they just did this? Can you believe they just did that? Like for me, this was just happening this morning on my own podcast. Someone was bringing up Review Tech USA. Well, did you hear that Review Tech is now on these Lol Cow Ladies show and this and that? I was like, no, I'm done with Review Tech. Like we talked about him months ago. I destroyed it by reacting to his documentary. I talked about him again and again. He pussied out of being on my show. I've had enough of Review Tech. Like, I know he's a joke. I don't need to keep going on and on about it. But to some people, it's just like, this is the nonstop feeding war. And that's where I think I differ from a lot of people. Like, for me, it's, I just can't. I would lose interest right away. You find out about the person, they're a deviant, they're a loser, there's a weirdo, they don't wash, they're fucking videos of kids in a bathtub or whatever. All right, I know I want no association with these people. I can't take it. I'm moving on. Okay? But some people just like hyper focus and then like this is your source of laughs and lulls, right? Now listen, I get it. It's just not for me. And I want you to understand, I'm not hating on people who are into that. People love Mr. Metokur. You guys love the Kino Casino stuff. for me, that's why do you think in the last few months I've deviated back to making gameplay and stuff like that? Because I can't take it. Like, literally, it bothers me. That cringe shit. I'll laugh at it initially. I just had a good laugh learning about some of these weirdo detractors. But now it's like, okay, what's the next topic? No, this is going to continue. We're only halfway through the Bathtub Ross saga. It's actually going to continue further and further and further, right? Like, holy shit. I don't know. I can't take it. And that's why I can't do this stuff. That's why, you know, as much as I try, if there's someone who has gone in on me over the years, okay, I'll clap back at them now and we'll cover that. But this is not like, I can't go after these people. It's just like sit and duck bullshit. You know, I could sit here and it's like shooting fish in a barrel, right? I can't take it. Anyway, Stuff and Things did a whopping $100 super chat. $100 super chat and says, Merry Kingdom as DSP. Thank you so much to Stuff and Things. A humongous contribution. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Thank you so very much. Okay, so let's continue on and see how long this saga goes on, because good lord, we're only halfway through the Bathtub Ross saga. Let's see how far it goes.
On to detail Ruby's Little's fetish, as well as some tirades Ross went on with excessive threats of violence or just expanding on other aspects of himself.
We can track you down and we can put you into the fucking red room, Neil.
Again with this super hacker shit. They're coming to get you, Jim. We're gonna put you in the fucking red room. And if you're wondering what that red room, that red
what does that mean?
Bandito is going to put you in, well, that's a creepypasta. It's a fucking creepypasta story that Ross watched on YouTube and apparently believes is totally fucking legitimate. But can you blame him? I mean, he is a virgin with rage.
I'm literally just a fucking virgin with rage, alright?
If I ever met you in real life, you son of a bitch, I will find you and I will kill you!
I mean, can we be honest? Isn't that probably the vast majority of people who are internet trolls? Like, that's just it. Like, that's who they are. That's their existence. Is they don't have anything going on for them in real life. They're just too young. They got anger issues, anxiety issues, and they just project that onto other people on the internet, correct? So I get it. Like, when I was young, I was a weirdo too. You know, you're saying doing dumb shit on the internet. I used to be a troll in the fighting game community. But it's weird that, like, these people said so much of this shit publicly. It's so bizarre to me. Like, the last thing I would, like, I was a troll in the fighting game community, but I certainly wasn't jumping into, you know, video calls like this. Like, well, not video call, I guess, but audio calls like this and just admitting weirdo shit and acting like this. It's fucking bizarre. Bizarre behavior.
That concludes Part 1 of the Bathtub Ross series. Part 2 summarizes the continued degradation of Bathtub Ross and his allies as they'd stream for hours on end, threatening anyone that dared oppose him. The pressures of such had Ross wanting to end it all, and so he quite literally drank Febreze.
What? He did?
At least I was able to drink Febreze, alright? Unlike you fucking f***s.
So, basically,
See you later, Stuff and Things. Thanks for the support, man. I really appreciate it.
My insides are lemony fresh. Now, I'm not sure if anybody's ever taken the time to look up the warnings that are on a Febreze bottle, but it won't kill you. It's not actually lethal at all. It will, however, make you shit yourself, like massively bad diarrhea, which is what happened to Ross, as he shit himself consistently for 2 days straight.
I mean, I had to use the restroom 7 times today because it probably could, like, it was kicking in pretty much.
With Ross now more unstable than usual.
I mean, even if this were the case, why would you admit it? Like, why would you go on a stream? I think these are just young people with nothing to do with their lives and they just want attention. So they just do this. Oh, look at the attention I'm getting. I drank Febreze and now I shit my brains out. Like, but no one needs to know this.
He decided to be a bit more honest and came clean that he is attracted to children.
Are you admitting?
Oh God.
Yeah, I am. I tried hiding it, but you know, I failed to do so. I failed to lie to people, and I failed to hide it.
You gotta get help. You gotta
What were
get
you
freaking
lying
help,
about?
professional
Why
help
did you
for
wanna
that
lie?
shit.
Why did you want to cover it up? Why were you lying?
Because pretty much I just didn't want to face that part of myself. It's borderline pedophilia. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm
No,
asking. Like,
It's not borderline. It is pedophilia, and you gotta get help for that shit,
did
man.
you mean what you said? Like, do you have feelings for us?
Yeah, I do need to seek help.
On top of this, Ross was also admitting that in the past, he wanted to take certain violent actions at school.
Not just for borderline pedophilia, but also for bloodlust as well. I was literally fucking pissed off that people were bullying me at high school, so therefore I wanted to fucking shoot up the school.
No, you're not hearing that wrong. That's Ross talking about fantasizing about shooting up schools. Now, Ross being Ross wanted to immediately turn this into a pity party. He wanted to make it about him. He wanted to say how he's been bullied and how people are just misunderstanding him. And when he was called out on that, he did what he always does. He read.
And then people are gonna celebrate, and then people are gonna fucking be unified against me, and then
Ross,
they'll be done.
Stop it. Stop with the pity party. Jesus Christ.
No, it's not a pity party. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. That's what.
Oh god, volume warning. Wow, what's about to happen? All right, I'm pausing too, guys. Volume warning. This might blow everyone's ears out. I guess maybe he's about to scream or something. All right, ready? Let's unpause, but everyone be careful. I'll be ready too. I'm sorry if this is too loud.
Shut up, Ross.
So there you have Ross, a self-admitted borderline pedophile with bloodlust issues, who has repeatedly
Happy holidays, everyone.
made death threats against other people, who's engaged in dangerous behavior, who's talked about hurting children and shooting up schools, admitting this publicly on the internet. If I were to look for a parallel for who Ross reminds me of, I would say it was Nick Bate. Now, Nick Bate is a person I did a video on years back. He was a weird individual, an autistic individual, and repeatedly, for years and years and years, he talked about his attraction to children and tried to play it off as normal and that he was not a threat to anyone.
Metokur closes the second video by bringing up a different person he covered in the past that had the same tendencies of Ross, and that, though there were interesting aspects about these obscure individuals, they can also be dangerous and their words should be taken seriously as to avoid tragedy through their hands. For several months, this story through Metokur went untouched. It was about 6 months later that he delivered the third and final installment. In here, Ross is now denying that he had an interest in children and claims he was forced to admit a falsehood. Metokur and the audience at large was not convinced.
Just because I told you, literally, verbatim, I am a pedophile, does not mean that I am a pedophile. You need to get on my level of literacy.
There were additional developments, and Ross admitting through a leaked Discord conversation that he wants to assault an ex, and also admitted to using emotional manipulation.
But even this wasn't the reason that I decided to do a part 3. I want you to buckle up. I want you to batten down the fucking hatches, because what I'm going to drop on you should unnerve you. You've heard the statements from Ross. You've heard the things that he has said.
Oh, no.
You have an idea of what his character is.
I mean, seriously. How can you top it? So, let's see. He's a pedophile. He basically has uncontrollable rage issues to the point where he's fantasizing about killing other schoolmates because they bully him. So what's worse than those two? I mean, think about it. What could be worse than those two? I'm actually having a hard time thinking of anything. Like, if he actually was a mass murderer, but obviously not. He's, if he's free to make content, I don't know. I have no idea what's about to happen. Okay.
And if you watch those first 2 videos, you really have an idea of just who Ross is. But it's something he said, not only in the video he himself put up, but in the secretly recorded Discord conversation that really fucking caught my ear.
How dare I? What do I know? I'm just, a guy who's extremely, a terrible human being. I shouldn't be around kids at all. Oh, wait. Never mind. I actually am around kids to this very day.
What?
Never mind.
Take a minute to ruminate on that.
That was Ross admitting he was a teacher's assistant. He was around children in an elementary school.
The whole
fucking... Oh my god. So, oh no. So immediately, I mean, someone's got to take action, right? Someone's immediately got to take action because this is insanely dangerous now. Like, you don't know. This guy's unhinged. You don't know when he's going to take action on any of these things in his head. So you got to do something about this. What happened?
Thing is that they don't like check me in my background or anything like that. Oh man.
Wow.
Of course. Who needs background searches for teachers' aides that only volunteer 1 day of the week through community service? They just let them on in the front door.
This is the message Metokur ends his final Bathtub Ross video on. But that was not the end.
I mean, let's be honest. Now that I'm thinking about my high school days. I went to a Catholic high school and they made you do community service. Like, it was a requirement. And they had me do different kinds of community service. Like, I did Habitat for Humanity, but I also did volunteer at an old folks home. It was actually called the Jewish Home for the Elderly. That was like right across the street from my high school. They never did any background check on me about, you know, who I was or my, you know, they didn't. Man, this is, I mean, those elderly people are vulnerable, right? So, I mean, anyone could be volunteering there, and who knows? Jesus, now I'm really creeped out. Oh my God.
Of his interactions with Ross, there was a stream hosted by creator Tonka Saul where Metokur confronts Ross once more.
So you are a pedophile.
I mean, like, seriously, like, do you think I was not going to say that, or what?
So then you are a pedophile working at a fucking elementary school.
How the fuck? Oh my God, you're twisting it as if anything's gonna happen to those kids.
Ross was entirely unrepentant in this stream.
Not gonna be civilized with you.
So, I don't know what this is, this morning kumite, but people used to bring it up on my streams. They used to be like, Phil, are you gonna go on the kumite? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the hell's the kumite? I never heard of it. You know, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, it's this guy Metokur, and he does internet blood sport and shit. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. To me, when you say internet blood sport, I'm like, what? Like, the whole idea of blood sport is that it's like physical, you know, deadly fighting. If you're just having a conversation on the internet, it can't be a blood sport. Like, I never understood the name. I guess I understand the premise, but it doesn't seem to make sense to me. Like, how could you have an internet blood sport? You're just on the internet. You're just going to talk shit to each other. There's no real stakes, you know. Oh no, someone got a sick burn on me today or whatever, right? So, but I never really understood it, and no one ever really explained it to me either. I always thought, oh, it's just a bunch of trolls who want to like, you know, fuck with me. So I just ignored it, and I never paid any attention to it. For the record, I don't know if I ever got like a formal contact or invite from them to be on it, but people would bring it up in my chat for a while, for a few years there.
You're a piece of shit. You should be.
Neither am I. I honestly fucking hate you, honestly, Jim, because you fucking spread so much fucking bullshit about me in a constant fucking basis.
Even though, like, the police interviewed me, Jim, and they said I'm not a pedophile.
Oh, they interviewed you.
You said you are.
So you didn't tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Then? So you lied to the police. Are you saying on a live stream in front of 2,000 people
oh my
that you
God.
lied to the police when they came to investigate you for this? What an idiot!
You know what? Honestly,
you're so
like,
dumb. You're
like I
so
said,
dumb.
you're not delusional. You're the opposite of delusional, Jim.
Yes, he
But,
is.
like,
He
people
is the
think
opposite of delusional, right?
I mean,
Okay.
like people. Think
Yeah, no, you got it
asshole,
right the
Jim.
first time. Let's
I mean,
end on a
that's
high
fine.
note. That's good. Opposite of delusional. Thank you.
As unrepentant as Ross was, his statements did have a real-life effect. He was kicked out of his grandma's house after she was informed of the videos, and so Ross was allegedly living in a halfway house.
But the weird twist on that is, it turns out one of the guys that was really anti-Ross and wanted to see him go to jail for this, ends up getting convicted and put in prison for like 60 years. For I think he his little sister.
Did Jonathan Ross never go to jail?
Oh my God.
From what I understand, he got put into like I don't know what it'd be exactly, like a reform house. So I think eventually the state stepped in and they're like, we got to do something with this guy, and they put him in some kind of halfway house program for a while. Where he is now, I don't know, but he went to something for a while.
Huh.
And that is how the Bathtub Ross saga ended. And there were always plentiful amounts of topics for Metokur to cover. Now more so than ever, because in early 2017 he launched his Patreon.
Has this been your longest op using YouTube for?
All right, so that was basically an example of the kind of stuff that he would cover. And that's why June covered it in such detail. He wanted to show you an idea of what exactly it was. Okay. All right. Let's see. So now this is 2/22/2017. I'm a whore. Now that you're a whore, is your content going to change? Are you going to ask us to turn off the pesky ad block? You expect me to support you? Has this been your longest op using YouTube for 10 years and now monetizing? So he never monetized until 2017. Is that true? Interesting.
For 10 years and now monetizing. Yeah, this has been my grand plan, really. You know, when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Create multiple channels over the last decade, allowing them each to get up to a point where they become popular and then closing them down, all leading to this one moment. It was a very long operation, but I think I planned it out pretty fucking well.
This Patreon was the first and only way, at least for now, that Metokur was making money online. He had refused to allow advertisements on his videos and stated that he would keep it that way. Yet this was getting some pushback, in part due to him being a critic of those that overly monetize their presence on the platform, among many other things. One of the larger gripes was creators not adjusting their releases to reflect their increase in revenue, as Metokur was now trying to adhere to a weekly upload schedule. And for the most part, he delivered. Sometimes he even uploaded an additional video. But when he failed to do so, this video of Metokur, now changed to portray him as a target, would crop up.
Because they're that fucking stupid. I could make it up. I could completely blow smoke up their ass, and they would fucking love it.
This video, like any other used against Metokur, had virtually no effect on his image. Viewers were now more engrossed with this old, yet new thing that was rearing its head around.
So, finally, after so many years of never making a dollar doing it, he finally decided to open a Patreon. And then he said, well, since I'm doing a Patreon, I'll do an actual regular schedule. But then when he didn't adhere to it, people would give him shit. I kind of get that. I mean, if you are not at all making money, then you have absolutely no commitment to do anything, right? If no one's paying you to do it, if you don't have ads on it, nothing, then no commitment to anything. I mean, even honestly, if he was just running ads, there's still no commitment to do anything because people are just watching per their own volition and you're making money on the ads versus if people are paying you regularly for stuff, then they expect content, right? So that is a big step. I wonder why in 2017, why he decided to do that. It hasn't been explained yet.
You're Jim, right? You're the Jim?
Yeah, I'd be the Jim.
The Jim. Okay.
That was the streamer Destiny being introduced to Metokur. The two debated on various political issues for about an hour and a half. Metokur is overall seen as the victor in this stream, as it is remembered as Metokur's intuition versus Destiny's intellect. Metokur also had the upper hand because he did not take any hard stances. Even so, Metokur, now understanding Destiny a bit more, would go out of his way to interact with him.
Hello, I heard there was an Oompa Loompa meeting going on, so I wanted to join in.
Oh, wonderful.
Again, look, this is his icon, it's me. I'm so confused as how I ended up being his icon. Again, that would be something I would ask him.
We've got Metokur.
This is the under 4 feet tall club, right? Did I jump into the right stream?
That was a Google Hangouts that hosted various online political commentators, including Destiny, who is not very tall, as Metokur enjoys pointing out.
Nick, Darren, Metokur, anything you want to talk about? No bullshit.
Not in particular. No, I'm good.
I mean, if we're opening it up to just different topics of conversation, Destiny, what brand of stilts do you use? Because I've been
that was a nice one, dude.
curious
I love it
about
when
that.
people literally use a cartoon avatar, build their entire personality around a
No.
That's actually really funny.
Get
to me,
off your high horse.
That's really good. You got any more there in your little book there? I know how long you've
Little
been
book?
into this.
Are you
You're,
sure
like,
that's not
you're
yours?
real excited.
I
Good to
borrowed
go.
it
Keep
from
going,
you,
my
the
dude.
little book.
What cartoon picture did you use to represent yourself for this conversation, buddy?
3 homosexual men. So you
Just
should,
the
you should
Spanish
appreciate
one?
it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Dude.
there you go. He's taking digs at me, see? He's taking digs at me, and he's using those digs to take digs at them. What he does is ingenious, but again, I wonder what his problem was with me. I guess it's not addressed in this video, because it seems like whatever he had problems with me was earlier, right? Earlier on, because to be using me as his avatar like this. Oh, man.
You should have
Exactly. I'm catching strays left and right, but I don't know the context of the stray.
appreciate it. 3 game.
Hilarious. You're a riot, my man.
Metokur interjects only a short amount for the next 30 minutes and lets the serious topics be debated before honing in on Destiny once more.
So, does anyone want to make any final statements, final points to wrap up this hilarity?
So, by the way, people are saying his account was called Brightside Bill, which obviously is a dig on me. His account was called Brightside Bill. That's why it says bright side right there on the screen. Look right here. I'm just losing all these. I'm missing all these references. I don't get it. Why did he choose Brightside Bill? Why did he have me on his avatar? I don't. I wonder what it was. I don't know.
I'd love to, if I can have a minute.
Excellent. Go ahead.
I just wanted
We're a little short on time, so keep it fast.
I will. I just wanted to ask the little guy, are you still suing girls on the internet?
Ooh, I actually am not able to talk about that publicly at the moment. I'm sorry. But
You're suing somebody for hurt
can't
feelings,
speak about
really?
that. Under advice of counsel, I'm not supposed to talk about that right now. I'm sorry. Can I just a quick comment? I appreciate the conversation. I really do. I love all of you. Even Nick, except for Mr. Metokur. I hate you. And no bullshit. Lauren.
I hate you too, Mitchell.
This was the old that was new again. It was known as IB.
Oh, see, there you go. Baba Yaga says, you're so naive and pure, it's kind of charming. Brightside Bob in my chat says, I don't think he had personal beef with you. He made fun of you for seeding at games and asking for money. Shia AF says, I think you're part of the fabric of most scenes. You have been there for so long. The sky is blue. DSP still exists. Again, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm so lost. I'm there. I'm in the content. I'm in the documentary. I'm the picture in the center of the screen. His account's name is Brightside Bill, but I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yes, or internet blood sports. As opposed to physical blood sports, the internet.
Oh, so it wasn't irritable bowel syndrome? I'm not even kidding. I thought it was for a second.
Beratement of one's opponent on their history, ongoing controversies, unsubstantiated rumors, and physical features. Nothing is off the table, as the overall goal is to win this war or roasts. A form of this conflict can be traced all the way back to 5 years prior.
It's called Battle Camp, an interactive website where audiences get to vote whether to keep the person on or not. It's
Battle
the need
Camp?
to outdo one another.
There are many reasons why this community of creators, who are mostly made up of current or former political commentators.
Look, Andy Worski versus Tonka Saw's Rakita Law clip. What the? Here we go. Here we go. Me jumping in head first and immersing myself in stuff I'm not going to
Using
understand.
towards IBS, one of which could be that their bread and
Tony
butter,
versus Cyrax. I know of Cyrax.
the peak of whatever Gamergate was, or even just the 2016 election had passed, and so had interest in many of these figures that tried to keep the candle burning. Separate from IBS, Metokur was broadening his videos to target some of these figures. As for the ones involving themselves in IBS, Metokur points out the main 3 channels hosting this sort of content.
3 of the main channels that have really popped up to promote this would be Andy Worski with The Worski Show, Tonkasa with The Morning Kumite, and Baked Alaska with The Baked Alaska Show. These are 3 different individuals. Their channels are hosting this as a format to go forward with, and it's been met with a very positive reaction from the audience.
Metokur also states within this video that the large-scale criticisms of creator CrownNT, who Metokur also did a video series on, also helped spark IBS. And to that, some of the most memorable IBS streams were the ones where creators were being exposed live. Enter Matt the Boulder Jarbo, famous for being targeted by Zoe Quinn as she used the DMCA process to take down a video of his in the past.
Okay, so now we're getting back to Gamergate. This guy got slammed by a DMCA takedown during Gamergate. Okay.
You can see.
Oh, this is Mundane Matt. I didn't know his real name. So that's Mundane Matt. Gotcha. Okay.
Matt talk about this from time to time. He'll bring up the fact that Zoe false DMCA'd him, that he's sort of a big deal. He was there at the beginning, just an innocent YouTuber being abused by a bigger individual. How horrible must that feel? How fucking awful must that be?
This made Jarbo quite popular in 2014 during the height of Gamergate, but now in 2017 he was getting attention for the same reason. Only he was on the other side of things.
Oh,
6 years ago,
What
I
did he
made some
do?
stupid puppet videos called Pulley the Polar Bear. They were an attempt to be super edgy and ridiculous. Not the best representation of who I am. Dumb jokes have a way of coming back to bite you in the ass.
The infamous Polly the Polar Bear video is one where Jarbo, through a puppet figure, says the word of the day is the N-word. After the video's rediscovery, as Metokur stated, Jarbo removed it from his channel. But mysteriously, other channels were finding it difficult to show the footage.
Oh, well, what
What is it? Okay, what is it with content creators using puppets or stuffed animals and thinking that it's funny to do like extreme content with it or taboo, twisted content with it? And then like years later, they regret it. Didn't Shane Dawson do exactly the same thing? Didn't he have a show where it was supposed to be like a girl puppet, but the girl would talk like over sexualized shit. And now years later, people are like, dude, that's totally pedophilia. Like, why are you doing that? And then he like tried to erase the show from the internet. So why do they think that this is like a good idea? It's not a good idea, okay? It never has worked for anyone.
You know, it looks like Ethan was going to do a stream and talk about it. He was going to have people on, and they were going to talk about Mundane Matt's Polly the Polar Bear video. Let's pull up some footage of that and see what happened. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on hate speech. What's going on here? It couldn't be the Polly the Polar Bear video, because just looking at the archive, you can see it survived on YouTube with all the algorithms and people watching it for 6 entire years. So if it was defined as hate speech, Matt would have been struck with a strike long before Ethan Ralph showing it on his stream would have been struck with a strike. And so people began to put forward what their theory was on what exactly happened with the stream. It's Mundane Matt's fault. I just want to outright state that. There's no way. I'm 100% certain Matt did this.
I'm definitely disappointed because, as you can see, he's no longer using me as his avatar. He's changed the avatar to someone else. It's very disappointing.
As was tradition, they got Matt on stream to hear his side of the story.
Jim, I understand what you're saying.
So, okay. So the argument here is Mundane Matt had this video on YouTube for like 6-7 years and never had an issue. All of a sudden, Ralph showed the video on his stream and it got struck down for hate speech. How is it the original video didn't get hit with the hate speech claim, but the restream of it did? And what they're accusing him of is that he did it. He's the one who hit it with the claim, and that's why YouTube took action. I can answer this, by the way. All right, you ready? YouTube is a self-policing entity. Okay? YouTube doesn't actually have anyone who works for them who sits around and reviews content unless you tell them to. Okay? So someone could literally make a video right now, and the video can be, hey, racist stuff constantly. Like the N-word, everything horrible. Making parodies of races and things. And unless someone actually reports the video, it will sit there untouched by YouTube. YouTube doesn't have an automatic algorithm that will catch that level of content. Maybe they will someday, but it's a self-reporting system. So basically, I don't know how. Well, okay, I know how. I think what they're saying is Matt flagged Ralph's stream or video. That very well could be the case. It could be that YouTube definitely didn't want that content on its site, but since no one flagged the original video, maybe it's so old no one even watched it or knew it existed, no one went after it. You see what I mean? Now, here's the other thing, too. YouTube, sadly, treats things differently and has changed things over time. So, for example, if there's content that's really old, like let's say, for example, there's a video that's been on YouTube for a decade and someone finds it, oh my God, it has the N-word in it. If they flag it, usually what will happen, YouTube will age restrict the video. They won't actually hit that creator with like a strike. They'll just say, well, it's 10 years old, age restricted video to adults only. Okay? But if someone now today makes a video or rebroadcasts that old video in a new piece of content, then YouTube will actively strike you. I know that sounds weird and unfair, but I guess what YouTube is trying to do is saying, we don't want to punish you for things you've done a million years ago that maybe at one point were not considered bad. I guess I'll give you an example here, because I had experience with this. Many years ago, I used different kinds of language. One of the words was a word that's basically today is considered a very negative word when you're referencing transsexual people who are trans. Okay, I used this word like over a decade ago. I didn't know that it was a bad word because it wasn't back then. Like, no lie, I heard that word used commonly in content, and it wasn't negative. All of a sudden, in the last decade, this word has become a very negative word towards the trans community. And so now if you were to use it, you'd get in big trouble for it. You'd be, oh, that's hate speech. But a decade ago, it wasn't. Okay? So people have, of course, my haters have tried to flag all of my old content and say, you see, you used all this hate speech. What YouTube does, they'll contact you and say, FYI, we reviewed your content. We're going to go ahead and age restrict your video. So now no one under the age of 18 can ever watch it. And FYI, don't use that language ever again, which I don't. Okay, I don't use it anymore. But YouTube has to do that. Now, if I made a video right now saying that stuff, it's very likely YouTube would hit me with a strike and say, oh, that's community strike. You can't say that. That's hate speech. You see, that's the difference. So that's what it seems like has happened here. At least we're going to get into it. It seems like Mundane Matt didn't get into trouble because his video was old and no one had an issue with it back then. If someone restreams it today, though, they will, but you have to flag them. Sounds like that's what happened here. Anyway, it's actually time to split the part, everyone. Thanks for watching. I feel like we're getting into a really good part. I can't wait to get into this saga. I'll see you in the next part of DSP Reacts to the Mr. Metokur doc.